Hi there, I'm Mark. I'm from a little place in Christchurch, New Zealand. I'm doing a series of videos in the hope that I can motivate and help you. I've got a story to tell and I want to share my journey with that hope in mind. Have you had hopes and dreams in your life? Have you wanted to rise and be significant? I think growing up most of us wanted to be achievers and be successful, but with life's challenges and hardships and pain, life isn't easy. You may well have lost your hopes and dreams along the way. Well, I'd like to share my journey with you because I've been to the depths of depravity. I've hit what I can only describe as rock bottom and come back from there. My hope is to inspire and encourage you because there is hope no matter what you have done, no matter what your background is. I have been recovered, clean and sober for 22 years. I'm an ex-criminal, ex-intravenous drug addict. I'm an alcoholic from the past. Look, I'm not proud of this, but that was my journey for many, many years. I didn't know a way out. Years back, I can remember being in this program and they were trying to help me. I subsequently, I overdosed in that program and thank God I was in the right place because, it was a hospital setting. Look, I can remember a counsellor in that program talking with me. I've got so much pain, I've got so much depression, and I've got so much sadness. I don't even know where to even start and begin recovering. If I have to stop using drugs and alcohol, I really don't even want to live anymore. That was where I used to be. I didn't know another way. As soon as I took drugs, I felt connected and I felt whole again. I stopped feeling the pain and depression. I felt I could be funny and normal and confident and happy. But what started off as a way to medicate my reality away and escape the internal pain and all of life's difficulties, like a little monkey on my shoulder, if you will, having fun, ended up becoming this enormous gorilla that just weighed me down. I lost all my dignity and worth. I just became in the end a hopeless, homeless drug addict that everyone had given up. Look, it was a really sad story and a wasted life. Starting at the beginning, I came from a family they were very strictly religious. It seemed to me as a child growing up that it was a bunch of rules and regulations to follow. To me, faith should bring hope, it should bring joy and a sense of happiness into your life, or at least some meaning and some purpose. It didn't seem to bring any of those things to me. I only saw the hypocrisy. It just seemed to be so hypocritical and I just rebelled at a young age. I started smoking when I was 8 or 9. I got kicked out of school when I was 14. I could only read slowly and write in capital letters and that was my education level. I felt terrible about myself internally. All those bad words that have been spoken over me. I started drinking soon after that, eventually leading me down a pathway of smoking pot and pills and using needles, opiates and amphetamines and becoming what I can only describe now as a hopeless addict. Why did I use? It was great in the moment. It was like I was Dr. Mark diagnosing the problem and prescribing that I should medicate all my pain away. This made me feel happy in the moment, as I mentioned. But there was a big price to pay. It completely took away all my dignity and worth. It took everything from me. Sometimes we have to go to the absolute end of ourselves before we can see clearly. I ended up at rock bottom and there was no other option but to get help or die. My final rock bottom was when I went around to visit my children. I'd been booted out of there, and rightly so, given the way I conducted myself. And really, at that point, I felt that I'd really lost my family. I was talking to them on the front porch, and my son, I guess he would have been around 7 years old, he squared his shoulders back and got a strength about him that I'd never seen before. He stared up at me and with those big brown eyes, and he said, "Let's face it, Dad, you're a big fat loser with no home." Look, you can imagine how that made me feel. I think within every one of us there's a sense of wanting significance in our lives. We want to be a good dad, a good mum, we want to be a good husband, a good wife. We want to do something with our lives, we want to make a difference. I can remember leaving shortly after that, and I sat on the fence up the road, and I distinctly remember it as though it were yesterday. I sat on that fence and I bawled my eyes out. Look, I was feeling sorry for myself, for sure, but I just cried and cried with the shame of what I'd become, thinking, here I am, 37 years old, and I've lost everything that is dear and precious to me. I have nothing and nobody. Look, if you'd met me then, you'd want to cross and walk up the other side of the street, I've got to say. I didn't have love in my life, and I was just wasting away. I cried in the sadness and the pain of it all, and for all the people that I'd stolen from and hurt. Look, thank God, shortly after that, I ended up in a 9-month residential program in Sydney. The courts had sentenced me there, and it was either go there or jail. In that program, I actually got clean. One of the first things I learned in rehab was to face the reality of who I was and stop that blame game. I had to learn to take responsibility for my own actions and to stop pointing the finger at everyone else. I'm only responsible in my life for my own feelings, thoughts, and what I do and don't do. I could not blame others for where I'd really ended up. It was my responsibility, and I had to take responsibility for that. No one else could do it for me. I had to face up to that. Look, you can encourage people, you can lead them to water, but you can't make them drink. But in my case, I had to drink. And I had to go to that place and take responsibility for my own life. And look, it wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy process, because I had to face reality and the pain inside. 22, look, it's now been 22 years later, now clean and sober. It has been what I can only describe a very, very interesting journey. There's certainly been a lot of challenges there. If you're watching this today and you're depressed and you've lost hope, you've got caught up in addiction, whatever that may be, and look, you're trying to escape reality and you can't see a way out, I want to tell you that there is a way out. You can step up and you can grow and overcome. There is no shame in having a problem, but there is a shame in doing nothing about it. A big part of growing and changing was learning that really I did have value and worth. I had to learn to like myself, to actually be okay with who I am, be comfortable in my own skin, and realise that God had created, and He's created us all, and our lives do have meaning and purpose. My goal is to ignite a passion within you so that you can say, hey Mark, if you've done it, then so can I. I can walk this journey with you and do it too. I want to encourage you that you can grow past all the hurt and pain and have a successful life. Look, So in the future, I look forward to seeing you in following videos where I'd like to share more in depth on specific topics and how I stepped up and how I became successful in my life, and pass that on to you and be an encouragement. Thank you for watching today. I appreciate that.